I got back into playing guitar about 18 months ago, this was the first guitar that I went out to buy. I'd grown up playing a Stratocaster and an Epiphone SG until I was about 18, and then when I was 35 I decided to take the plunge and get back into playing the guitar. I just wanted to sort of rekindle that old passion that I had in it. And I went out to the shops and bought this blue Telecaster. You know, I'd always wanted a Telecaster, and I'd started my journey back into guitar by playing the Strat without an amp, just sitting there trying to get my fingers to work. And then I would watch a lot of Anderton's videos, and obviously I saw Danish Pete with his purple 52 reissue Telecaster, and I thought, I've got to get myself one of those. Well, this guitar is really a symbol for me, because the day that I'm really happy playing it will be the day that at least I think I've gained some level of skill with the guitar. At the moment, as it stands, this guitar is way too demonstrative of the things that I can't do more than the things I can do. It's a wonderful guitar. It's incredibly transparent in showing how you play. You know, it's got a big neck, which I'm not very agile around. And I think one day when I feel like I can play this blue Telecaster really well, I'll gain some satisfaction from knowing that I could sort of tame this particular beast. But as it stands, I love to see this guitar. I love the history of it, and I love what it encourages me to do every day when I walk into my studio. So really I want to start this video by saying every guitar on this list I'm very lucky to have. I enjoy them all for one reason or another. As we get towards the end of the video to figure out which is the one guitar I would keep if I could only have one, that's really only because I engage so much more with the guitars as we go forward through this list. So let's see what the next one is. So I definitely bought this guitar based on its looks, to be quite honest with you. It's a gorgeous guitar. I mean, Paul Reed Smith make absolutely beautiful looking guitars, but what I've learned in my 18 months of coming back to play is that emotionally they don't seem to pull on my heartstrings. So this guitar is a bit of a sledgehammer for me, really. I can't quite understand how I want it to work, what it means to me, what sort of music I want to play on it, and the controls don't really work for me. The bridge control is first, then the neck control. I tend to play more in the neck position. I find that when I roll back volume on either pickup, it loses a lot of brightness and liveliness, and so it gets a bit duller. So I have to play at sort of a high level of output all the time. And the last thing I want to say about it is that I think I'm probably using it with the wrong amps. So I'm planning on doing another standalone video where I try to figure out how to use the DGT. But I would leave the DGT by saying it's you know, David Grissom is an incredible player. I've loved sort of watching videos about him and the way he plays it, and he sounds fantastic. So, you know, this is nothing about the guitar not being great. It just doesn't work for me. I don't have an emotional connection to it, which for me personally is something that's really something I need. And that's, you know, something I've discovered more and more over time. But I do want to sort of do a little introspection on that guitar. So I'm going to make a video soon about how I could possibly find out how to make it work better for me. Right, let's see what the next one is. Okay, so now we're in the sort of middle pack as it works in my brain, really. These next few, 3 or 4 guitars are, I really get along with them really well. They just don't necessarily suit my playing style. Take this one, for example, the Case J1 Vintage. As an aspiring guitar maker, it almost makes me want to weep how beautifully this thing is made. I particularly like John Case's take on the Les Paul shape, his own slant to it, his own curves and everything, and yet it's recognisably what it is. The colouring is his own. The only thing that doesn't work for me is that it feels very much like a sort of mid-70s sound in terms of its compression, and it's a bit more compression than I ideally want. So I think one day when I change the pickups on this guitar, it's going to go shooting up, because otherwise the neck is gorgeous, it plays really well. It's very light. It's made from old mahogany, so it's a stack of mahogany that John Case had himself for a long time, which was already very old when he bought it. So it's very light. I don't actually need guitars to be that light. I'm quite a big guy. I quite like a little bit of heft. So this is a very light guitar. Doesn't sound any worse for it, and it's only a minor criticism on my part. Guitars don't always need to be lighter as far as I'm concerned, although I trust that John Case knew what this guitar needed, and I snapped it up off him when I got it. So I think one day we'll do a video where I change those pickups to get something a little bit less compression-y. Those are pretty heavy rock pickups, but I love them. I love this guitar, just generally. I love looking at it. It always puts a smile on my face. It's just drop dead gorgeous. So yeah, the next one is a pair. This is where I place the Stratocaster in my view. I'm not a Strat player. I don't intend, it just doesn't grab me. Although Jimi Hendrix is one of my favorite players of all time, I can't play like Jimi Hendrix. I can't play like Stevie Ray Vaughan. And it's not the sort of music that naturally I feel like. Going to come out of me, and I don't have the patience to sit and learn loads of Strat blues licks, the sort of stuff that a lot of people do so well on YouTube as well. It's just not who I am, but I want to show you these 2 guitars because one of them is the first guitar I was ever given by my parents when I was 10 or 11, and I've done a lot of work to it since then with new pickups, stripped the neck, done new nut, new bridge, new everything really, new pick guard, which I love, the mint pick guard on an Olympic white Strat. This is a late 80s Strat, by the way, American made. And then the other one is a John Case Strat, which I was determined that I needed in my life, a sunburst Strat. This is in the style of an early 60s, 62, 63, and I've played a few of those guitars, and this stacks up against them to be incredibly realistic in its likeness. And the pickups, which were from JW Restoration, actually really similar to a couple of the 63 Strats that I've played, in the sense that they don't compress massively, and they're also a little bit spiky. It's a different style of thing, those pre-CBS Strats, to say that is almost enough to make me want to be a Strat player. I mean, I would love to be a Strat player in the, you know, it's one of those guitars that's so definable. It's so, I think people who play with a Strat tend to be instinctively drawn towards that. And I love listening to that music, and I love listening to other people play it. But myself, it seems to be that when I'm doing it, it's just more of an homage to a sound that I love, and I really love that. But we've still got 4 sections of guitars to go before we get to the top, and I feel like this is a good place to end part 1. So in part 2, we're going to carry on, and I'm figuring out as I'm going along, really, because I'm really saying to myself, like I do in these little videos about what if I only had 1 pedal or 1 amp, I really make myself feel it, like if everything was gone and I could only have 1, and then I start to actually feel a bit sort of sweaty and nervous. Yeah, so in the next video, we're going to have the next 4 sections and get to what is my number 1, what is my number 2, my 2 most important guitars, and I'm actually announcing the winner of the Kingtone Horsebreaker giveaway. So that video is going to come out in a day or 2, just depends how quickly I can make it. I wanted to bring these 2 videos out very close to each other, so it's all part of one thought process, really. But I hope you've enjoyed that so far. For me, I love doing these. It really helps me to distill what's really important to me. You know, I feel, as I said at the beginning, I'm really fortunate to have access to these instruments and to be able to have them. And I can't always do them justice, and that's, you know, helps keep me working hard on it. So yeah, if you've enjoyed this one, please subscribe, hit the notification bell, and you'll be notified when part 2 comes out in a couple of days. And if you want to win that Kingtone Horsebreaker, this is really truly your last chance. I've been dragging this on a little bit. We're supposed to be at 3,500 subs. We're a few more than that now. Really is going to be announced in the next video, so comment, subscribe, and yeah, you might win it anywhere in the world. I'll send it over to you. All right, see you soon.